Have you ever felt like you're wandering through life, stuck in the same patterns, never breaking through to the level you know you're capable of? Do you wake up every day, staring at the same problems, the same doubts, wondering why nothing changes? The truth is hard, but it's simple. The world doesn't owe you anything. It's you against yourself. And until you master that battle, nothing else will fall into place. This is where the lessons begin. Each one is a weapon, forged in the fires of discipline, resilience, and raw determination. From mastering your thoughts to aligning with the unseen forces that shape your reality, these lessons will tear away the excuses and hand you the tools to rebuild yourself stronger. Lesson by lesson, you'll learn to control your mind, sharpen your focus, and create the life you were meant to live. You'll unlock the power of persistence, ignite the flame of gratitude, and uncover the unshakable strength that comes from a life in balance. But these lessons aren't for the faint of heart. They demand action, relentless effort, and the courage to face the darkest parts of yourself. Are you ready to stop wandering and start building? Are you ready to face the truth, take back control, and dominate your path? This isn't just a motivational video. This is your blueprint for transformation. Let's get to work. Lesson 1. The Forge of Creation. Imagine your mind as a forge, deep in the heart of an ancient mountain. Within this forge burns a fire, unyielding and eternal. This fire does not care what you cast into it. It melts gold and iron alike. It takes what it's given and shapes it into reality. Your thoughts are the raw material you throw into this fire, and every day, you are forging the world you live in. But here's the cruel truth. Most people cast scraps into their forge: doubt, fear, self-pity. They create weapons of their own destruction and chains that bind them to mediocrity. They curse the world for their misfortune, blind to the fact that the world they see is the world they've built. You are not exempt. Look at your life as it stands. The hardships, the limitations, they are not random. They are the echoes of your past thoughts. Every fleeting worry, every unchecked fear, every excuse you've whispered to yourself, they've been smelted into the barriers around you. You crafted this reality, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will understand the power you hold. But power is a double-edged sword. Like a forge, your mind can just as easily create tools of liberation. A blade, sharp enough to cut through the lies you tell yourself. A key, precise enough to unlock doors you thought were sealed forever. It all depends on what you feed the fire. If you throw ambition into the flames, it will shape itself into strength. If you cast vision into the blaze, it will temper itself into purpose. And if you hurl unwavering belief into that inferno, it will forge the very path you will walk to freedom. You must become the blacksmith of your destiny. No one will hand you the tools to escape the cage of your own making. You must craft them yourself. And that begins by mastering your thoughts. The first step: awareness. Watch your mind as if you were guarding the gates of a fortress. Every thought that enters must be inspected. Is it a seed of growth or a spark of destruction? If it does not serve you, cast it out. Discipline your mind, or it will betray you. This is the unyielding truth of Lesson 1. Your thoughts are not mere whispers. They are orders sent to the forge of creation. What you think today becomes the weapon you wield, or the shackle you wear tomorrow. So, what will you throw into the fire? Will you feed it fear and regret? Or will you dare to cast your boldest dreams into the flames? The choice is yours, but understand this. Whether you act or do nothing, the forge will never stop burning. The question is, will you let it burn you alive? Or will you master it and forge the life you were meant to live? Choose wisely, for the fire waits for no one. Lesson 2. The gatekeepers of power. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A grand castle with towering walls, its gates locked tight. Inside lies unimaginable wealth, a treasure that can reshape your life. This castle is your subconscious mind. It holds the key to everything you desire, but the gates are guarded by a single vigilant sentry, your conscious mind. The subconscious does not speak, yet it obeys without question. It is the soil of your inner world, ready to nurture whatever seeds you plant. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. The subconscious does not care what grows. Plant weeds of doubt, and they will spread like wildfire, choking the light from your ambitions. Sow seeds of strength, and they will blossom into unshakable resilience. The soil is indifferent. It only serves. Your conscious mind, however, is the gatekeeper, the one who decides what enters the castle. Every thought, every belief, every fleeting idea, it all passes through the sentinel. And yet most of us let this sentry fall asleep at its post, allowing invaders to march through the gates unchecked. Fear, self-pity, comparison. These intruders set up camp in the subconscious and slowly poison the treasure within. But let me tell you this, the gates are yours to control. The sentry answers to you. If you wake it, if you train it, you can wield it like a sword. You can decide what thoughts cross the threshold and what thoughts are turned away at the gates. And that is where your power lies. The process is simple, but it is not easy. It begins with discipline. You must become ruthless in the thoughts you allow to linger. Each time a negative idea demands entry, challenge it. Ask, what purpose do you serve? Will you build me up, or will you tear me down? If it cannot serve you, it has no right to enter. You must learn to guard your gates as though your life depends on it, because it does. And do not mistake the subconscious for a silent servant. It is more like a mirror, reflecting what you show it. Show it fear, and it will reflect chaos. Show it strength, and it will mirror power. The key is repetition. The subconscious learns through repetition, through the ceaseless hammering of belief into its depths. One thought whispered once is weak, but a thought repeated daily becomes a command. Understand this. The conscious mind is the architect, but the subconscious is the builder. The conscious mind draws the plans, decides the vision, and sends the orders. The subconscious takes those orders and constructs your reality, stone by stone. But if the architect is careless, if the plans are flawed, then what do you think the builder will create? This is the harsh truth of Lesson 2. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper, and your subconscious is the loyal builder. Together, they create everything you experience. So ask yourself, who is guarding your gates? Are you standing watch? Or have you allowed the invaders of doubt and fear to slip past unnoticed? Are you giving the builder the right plans? Or are you leaving it to construct ruins from the chaos of unchecked thoughts? Today, you take back control. Wake the sentry, guard the gates, shape your reality with intention, for what you allow into your subconscious will become the foundation of your future. The gates are yours to command. Use them wisely. Lesson 3. The invisible web of power. Picture this, an endless, intricate web stretching across the universe, connecting every thought, every action, and every being. It's vast, silent, and unseen, yet it governs all things. This is the universal mind, a force so profound, it holds the blueprint of creation itself. It is not something you see or touch. It is something you tune into, like a musician finding the perfect note. But here lies the dilemma. Most of us wander through life deaf to this symphony. We live as though disconnected, struggling against the current, unaware that the very force guiding the stars could guide us. The universal mind is not a distant entity. It is woven into you. The question is, are you aligned with it, or are you fighting against it? Imagine for a moment that this web is like a massive ocean, and your mind is a ship. The universal mind provides the tides and the wind, moving everything in its path. You cannot control these forces, but you can control your ship. You can adjust your sails, set your compass, and choose your direction. If your thoughts align with the currents of the universal mind, the journey becomes smoother, purposeful, and powerful. But if your thoughts resist, if they are chaotic and aimless, your ship will drift, battered by waves of confusion and failure. Alignment is the key. The universal mind operates on laws, unchanging, impartial, and absolute. Like gravity, these laws do not care about your ignorance or your excuses. They respond to your thoughts, your beliefs, and your intent. Positive thoughts, clear intentions, and unwavering belief act as a beacon, drawing opportunities and success toward you. Negative thoughts, doubt, and fear create resistance, turning the tide against you. To align with this web, you must become deliberate. You must tune your mind like an instrument, ensuring that every thought resonates with the frequency of your desires. Focus on abundance, and the web reflects abundance. Focus on scarcity, and the web mirrors lack. The universal mind is impartial. It only gives you what you ask for, whether you realize you're asking or not. But here's the warning. This web does not tolerate hesitation. It despises indecision. The moment you doubt, the moment you waver, you cut yourself off from its power. You must decide, clearly, boldly, and with conviction, what you want. Send your desires into the web, not as whispers, but as declarations. The universal mind does not answer the timid. It answers the relentless. This is the truth of Lesson 3. The universal mind is the invisible web of creation, responding to your every thought. To master it, you must align your mind, your actions, and your intent with its unyielding laws. So, ask yourself, are your thoughts in harmony with the reality you seek? Or are you tangled in the threads of doubt and fear? Are you steering your ship with purpose? Or are you letting the tides drag you into the abyss? You have a choice. The universal mind is always listening, always watching, always reflecting. Align your thoughts, set your sails, and let the web work for you. Or stay disconnected, drifting in chaos. The web is eternal. It does not wait, but it will always respond to those who dare to command it. Lesson 4. The magnetic pulse of desire. Imagine you are holding a compass, one that doesn't point north, but instead toward the life you crave most deeply. This compass is your mind, and its needle is pulled by the magnetic pulse of the law of attraction. It draws you toward what you think about most, whether it's triumph or disaster. The question is not whether the law works, it is whether you understand how to wield it. Most people treat their minds like a storm-tossed ship with a broken compass, aimlessly pulled by fleeting emotions and shallow desires. They think of fear, and fear grows stronger. They focus on lack, and scarcity tightens its grip. Like a magnet, your mind doesn't care what you attract. It only amplifies what you hold in its field. But let's be clear, the law of attraction is not wishful thinking. It is not daydreaming about success, while your actions betray laziness and doubt. No, this law demands precision, discipline, and unshakable belief. Your thoughts are like electrical pulses, radiating energy into the universe. That energy interacts with the unseen forces around you, setting in motion the events, people, and opportunities that match your dominant vibration. But if your thoughts are scattered, your results will be chaotic. Think of your mind as a transmitter, sending out signals into the void. Every thought is a frequency, and the universe mirrors it back to you. Focus on failure, and the world will echo failure. Focus on success, and success will come. The signal you send becomes the reality you receive. But the law has its price. It demands clarity and commitment. You must be specific about what you want. A vague goal brings vague results, while a clear vision becomes a laser, cutting through obstacles and attracting exactly what you desire. And once you've set your intention, you must align your actions with it. You cannot dream of wealth while indulging in wasteful habits. You cannot envision health while poisoning your body with neglect. The universe rewards those who move in sync with their desires. Here's the harsh truth. The law of attraction doesn't take sides. It doesn't care if your thoughts build you up or tear you down. It simply amplifies. It gives you more of what you focus on, whether it's hope or despair. Most people sabotage themselves by letting their minds drift to what they fear instead of what they want. They become prisoners of their own mental gravity, pulled into the orbit of their doubts and failures. This is the lesson of the magnetic pulse. What you hold in your mind, with clarity and conviction, becomes the reality that surrounds you. So, what are you magnetizing into your life right now? Is your mind a beacon of purpose, pulling greatness toward you, or a black hole, consuming everything in a spiral of fear and inaction? Are your thoughts and actions aligned, or are you sending out conflicting signals that confuse the forces at play? The universe is listening. It hears every thought, every whisper of doubt, every cry of hope. It waits to give you exactly what you ask for. Be clear. Be deliberate. Be relentless. The law of attraction will not bend to the uncertain or the weak. But for those who master it, the world itself becomes a reflection of their will. The compass is in your hand. Point it wisely, for the magnetic pulse will lead you wherever you dare to go. Lesson 5. The canvas of imagination. Picture your mind as an empty canvas, pristine and boundless, waiting for you to create. In one hand, you hold the brush, your thoughts. In the other, the palette, your emotions. Every stroke you make, every color you choose, shapes the world you will step into. This is the essence of visualization, the act of painting your reality before it exists. Most people stare at their blank canvas in fear, unsure of what to create. Their hesitation smears the surface with chaos. They let others hold the brush, letting the world dictate their vision. And when their life resembles a murky, confused mess, they wonder what went wrong. But here is the truth no one dares to confront. You are always painting. Whether consciously or not, your thoughts and emotions are filling that canvas every moment. The question is whether you're creating a masterpiece or letting the brush move aimlessly, guided by fear and distraction. Visualization is not mere fantasy. It is a deliberate act of creation. When you visualize with clarity and intensity, you are planting seeds in the soil of your subconscious. These images become the blueprint for your actions, decisions, and habits. They guide you, almost without effort, toward the reality you have envisioned. But here's the catch. Your canvas reflects not just what you think, but how deeply you feel it. Imagine your desires faintly, and they will remain faint. Picture them vividly, with color, depth, and emotion, and they will spring to life with relentless energy. Your subconscious does not respond to lifeless ideas. It responds to vivid experiences. To visualize effectively, you must feel the image as though it's already real. Think of a sculptor working with clay. The raw material is shapeless, but the artist has a vision burned into their mind. Every movement of their hands brings the form closer to reality. Visualization is the same. The clearer your mental picture, the more precisely you'll shape your life. The blurrier the image, the less control you have over the outcome. But beware of idleness. A masterpiece is not created by thought alone. Once you've painted your vision, you must take the steps to bring it into the physical world. Visualizing without action is like sketching a boat and expecting it to sail. Visualization is the spark, but action is the wind that drives the ship forward. This is the truth of Lesson 5. Your mind is a canvas, and visualization is the brush. The images you create with clarity and emotion become the blueprint of your future. So, what does your canvas look like? Is it a vivid masterpiece that inspires and guides you, or a chaotic mess, shaped by fear and indecision? Have you painted a future worth striving for, or have you left it blank, allowing the world to fill it in with mediocrity? Today, take hold of the brush. Close your eyes and see the life you want in vivid detail. See it, feel it, believe it. Let the colors of your imagination ignite your subconscious. Then, with that vision as your guide, step into the world and make it real. Remember, the canvas is yours, the brush is yours, and the masterpiece is waiting. Paint it boldly, for the world will reflect whatever image you dare to create. Lesson 6. The Echoes of Affirmation. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon. You shout a word into the void, and moments later, the canyon shouts it back, louder and more resonant. This is the power of affirmation, a ripple effect in the unseen realms of your subconscious. What you declare with consistency and belief, the universe echoes back to you. But here's the problem. Most people shout the wrong words. They fill the canyon with complaints, doubts, and fears. And then they wonder why their lives echo back with chaos and despair. Affirmation is not just a feel-good mantra. It is a command to the subconscious and the forces beyond. If you repeat negativity, you reinforce it. If you declare strength, you summon it. Your mind is like a garden, and affirmations are the seeds. Every thought you plant and water with repetition grows into a belief, and every belief shapes your actions. The subconscious does not question the seeds. It simply nurtures them. Plant weeds, and they will overtake the soil. Plant flowers, and they will bloom into strength and success. But let's be clear, affirmations are not magic spells. They are not mere words. They are intentions infused with emotion and clarity. An empty affirmation is like shouting into the canyon without conviction. It fades into nothing. But an affirmation backed by belief, visualized with intensity, and repeated with persistence, reverberates through your mind and the universe, creating powerful ripples. Think of affirmations as a chisel carving into stone. Each repetition deepens the groove, etching the belief into your subconscious. It is slow, deliberate work. The deeper the groove, the more unshakable the belief becomes. This process demands consistency. You cannot carve your masterpiece by striking the stone once and walking away. The more you repeat an affirmation, the stronger its echo grows, guiding your thoughts, actions, and decisions. But here's the warning. Affirmations are neutral. They do not judge, they simply amplify. If you affirm weakness, you strengthen weakness. If you affirm self-doubt, you solidify failure. Many people unknowingly repeat negative affirmations daily. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. These words become chains, forged in the subconscious, locking them in place. This is the truth of Lesson 6. Your affirmations are the echoes that shape your reality. What you declare with belief and consistency becomes the foundation of who you are. So, what are you shouting into your canyon? Are you declaring strength, confidence, and purpose? Or are you unknowingly reinforcing the chains of fear and limitation? Are you planting seeds of growth, or are you letting weeds take root? Today, take control of your echoes. Choose your affirmations with intention. Speak them with conviction. Repeat them until they are etched into the core of your being. Then watch as the canyon shouts them back, louder and stronger, shaping your reality to match your words. The power is yours. Speak wisely, for your words are not just sounds. They are the seeds of your future, and the echoes will always return. Lesson 7. The silent battle within. Picture yourself standing in the center of a battlefield. But there are no enemies around you, no armies to fight. The real war is within. It's a war between your higher self, the part of you that demands greatness, and your weaker self, the voice that whispers doubt, excuses, and indulgence. This is the battle for self-control, and every decision you make tips the scales in one direction or the other. Most people lose this battle before it even begins. They surrender to their impulses, allowing fleeting emotions to dictate their actions. They justify their failures with comforting lies, telling themselves there will always be another chance, another day, another time. But every time you give in to that weaker voice, you strengthen it. You allow it to take another piece of the battlefield, leaving your higher self to retreat. Self-control is not just about resisting temptations. It's about mastering yourself. It's about silencing the chaotic chatter in your mind and choosing discipline over comfort. Imagine your mind as a wild horse. Left unchecked, it will gallop aimlessly, dragging you into brambles of regret and failure. But when tamed, when guided with a firm hand, that same horse becomes a force that can carry you across any terrain. To master self-control, you must become the commander of this battlefield. You must train your mind to obey your will, not the other way around. This means recognizing your triggers, the moments when the weaker self rises to power. It might be the temptation to procrastinate, to react in anger, to indulge in habits that drain you. The key is not to avoid these moments, but to confront them. Stand in the fire and say, "No, I am stronger than this." Think of self-control as a muscle. Every time you resist an urge, every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you strengthen it. But, like any muscle, it can grow weak if neglected. Small victories matter. Each time you take control, whether it's waking up on time, completing a task, or holding back a sharp word, you reclaim a piece of the battlefield. And over time, those small victories compound into an unshakable fortress of discipline. But here's the truth few will tell you. Self-control isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. You will fall. You will fail. The weaker self will sometimes win a skirmish. But what matters is how quickly you rise, how determined you are to fight back. Every time you get up, you weaken the hold of that voice and strengthen the one that demands more from you. This is the lesson of self-control. Your mind is a battlefield, and every choice is a weapon. Win the battle within, and the external world will bow to your will. So ask yourself, who is winning your war? Is it the voice that seeks comfort, or the one that demands greatness? Are you letting your impulses lead you, or are you holding the reins with unyielding determination? The battlefield is yours to command. The enemy is not out there. It is within. Take control. Choose discipline. Strengthen your will. Because the truth is this: victory in life begins with victory over yourself. And the spoils of this war, they are everything you've ever wanted. Lesson 8. The grindstone of persistence. Imagine yourself in a dark, unlit cave. At its heart is a massive grindstone, heavy and unyielding. This grindstone represents your goals, your ambitions, your deepest desires. To sharpen your life, to carve success from the raw stone of existence, you must turn that grindstone with your own hands. And here's the harsh truth: no one else will do it for you. Most people step into the cave, push the grindstone once or twice, and stop. They complain it's too heavy, that the effort is too great, that progress is too slow. They leave the cave defeated, blaming the grindstone, the darkness, and everything but their own lack of persistence. They never see that, had they pushed just a little longer, the stone would have turned, and their life would have been transformed. Persistence is not glamorous. It's not the spark of inspiration or the thrill of starting something new. Persistence is the unrelenting force that keeps you moving when the excitement fades, when the work becomes tedious, when every fiber of your being screams to quit. It's showing up every day, turning the grindstone inch by inch, even when you can't see the results. Think of a river carving through rock. The water does not succeed because it is stronger than the stone. It succeeds because it never stops. Day after day, year after year, it flows, persistent and unyielding, until the rock has no choice but to yield. Your actions must be like that river, steady, deliberate, and unstoppable. But here's the truth. Persistence is not about never failing. It's about failing and continuing anyway. Every setback, every obstacle, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than the challenge. Failure is not the end. It is the grindstone's resistance, testing your resolve. The more you push, the stronger you become. Yet persistence is not blind effort. It requires focus and direction. Imagine trying to push the grindstone from all sides. It will never move. You must commit to a single direction, a clear purpose, and channel all your energy into that path. Half-hearted efforts lead to nothing but wasted strength. This is the truth of Lesson 8. Persistence is the grindstone of success. The more you push, the sharper you become, and the closer you get to carving your reality. So ask yourself, are you pushing the grindstone with all your strength? Or have you let it sit idle, collecting dust? Are you flowing like the river? Or are you standing still, paralyzed by fear and doubt? Are you willing to endure the discomfort, the resistance, the long nights and lonely mornings, knowing that every effort moves you closer to your goal? The grindstone will not turn itself. The cave will not light itself. But for those who persist, for those who embrace the grind, the rewards are limitless. The sharper your blade, the easier it becomes to cut through life's obstacles. Step into the cave, take hold of the grindstone, push until your hands bleed, until the darkness retreats, until the stone turns and your life begins to transform. Persistence is not just the key to success, it is the only way forward. Keep pushing, for the grindstone yields only to those who refuse to stop. Lesson 9. The radiance of gratitude. Imagine a lantern in the dead of night, flickering in your hands. This lantern represents gratitude, and its light has the power to illuminate even the darkest paths. But here's the truth. Most people let their lanterns grow dim. They clutch it tightly, shielding its light with the shadows of their complaints, fears, and frustrations. They stumble in the dark, blind to the power they hold, blaming the world for their misfortune. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment or a polite gesture. It is a force. It is the ignition of abundance. When you light your lantern with gratitude, it casts its glow outward, and the universe mirrors that radiance back to you. Like a beacon in the fog, it attracts opportunities, clarity, and purpose, pulling you toward the life you desire. But here's the mistake. Most people wait for the light to appear before they feel grateful. They think gratitude is something reserved for victories, for moments when life aligns perfectly with their expectations. This is a lie. Gratitude is not the result of abundance. It is the cause. It is the spark that sets the fire of creation ablaze. Think of the barren earth after a long drought. The ground is cracked, lifeless, desperate for rain. Gratitude is the first drop of water. It begins small, but as it falls, the earth softens, the seeds stir, and life begins to grow. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more fertile your inner world becomes, ready to receive the abundance that surrounds you. But gratitude requires discipline. It's easy to be grateful when life is kind, but true power comes from finding gratitude in the struggle, the pain, the moments that test you. These are not punishments. They are the forge in which your strength is tempered. When you learn to say thank you for the lessons hidden within the pain, you unlock a resilience few will ever know. Gratitude is also a mirror. It reflects back what you choose to see. Focus on what you lack, and you'll see scarcity. Focus on what you have, no matter how small, and abundance will appear. This doesn't mean ignoring your goals or settling for less. It means recognizing that the foundation of more is built on appreciation for what already exists. This is the truth of Lesson 9. Gratitude is the light that reveals the abundance around you. The more you nurture it, the brighter your path becomes. So ask yourself, how bright is your lantern? Are you letting it illuminate your journey? Or have you let the shadows of dissatisfaction snuff it out? Do you wake each day with a heart full of thanks? Or do you focus on what you think is missing? Today, light your lantern. Start small if you must. Find one thing, just one, that you can be grateful for, and let its light grow. Say it out loud. Write it down. Feel it in your bones. Then tomorrow, find 2 things, and the next day, 3. Watch as the light of gratitude chases the darkness from your mind and reveals paths you never saw before. Gratitude is not weakness. It is strength. It is not complacency. It is power. With every moment of gratitude, you become a magnet for the abundance you deserve. So hold your lantern high and walk forward. The brighter your gratitude, the more radiant your future becomes. Lesson 10. The compass of purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of a dense forest, the path ahead hidden by shadows and uncertainty. In your hand is a compass, and etched on its face is your purpose. This compass does not point north. It points to your true calling, the reason you wake each day, the fire that burns deep within your soul. But here's the catch. Most people never look at it. They wander aimlessly, following fleeting distractions, unaware that their compass lies waiting, forgotten, in their grasp. Purpose is not something you stumble upon. It's something you choose. It's not handed to you. It's forged in the fires of introspection, struggle, and clarity. Without it, you're like a ship adrift at sea, pulled by the tides of circumstance, directionless and vulnerable. With it, you become unstoppable, cutting through the chaos of life with precision and intent. But finding your purpose is not an easy task. It requires confronting the truths you've been avoiding. It requires stripping away the illusions you've built around yourself, the expectations of others, the fears that bind you, the excuses you hide behind. Purpose is not born from comfort. It is unearthed in the moments when you are forced to ask, why am I here, and what am I willing to fight for? Your purpose is your compass, but a compass is useless without action. It points the way, but it does not walk the path for you. You must take the steps, no matter how difficult, no matter how uncertain. The path will not always be clear, and it will not always be easy. But the compass never lies. If you trust it, if you follow it with relentless determination, it will lead you to a life of meaning and fulfillment. Think of purpose as a flame. Left untended, it flickers and fades, consumed by the winds of distraction. But when you guard it, feed it, and nurture it, That flame becomes a roaring fire, lighting the way forward and inspiring those around you. Purpose is not just about you. It's about the impact you create, the legacy you leave, the way your fire ignites others. Here's the harsh truth. Without purpose, all effort is wasted. You can climb a mountain, but if it's not the mountain you were meant to climb, you'll reach the summit only to find emptiness. Purpose is the difference between activity and progress, between existing and truly living. This is the essence of Lesson 10. Purpose is your compass, and without it, you are lost. With it, you can navigate even the darkest forests and climb the highest peaks. So ask yourself, what is your compass pointing to? Are you following it? Or are you ignoring its pull, drifting through life without direction? Have you defined your purpose? Or are you waiting for the world to hand you one, knowing it never will? Today, take hold of your compass. Sit in the silence and ask yourself the hard questions. What do I truly want? What am I willing to sacrifice for? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Write it down. Make it real. Then take the first step in its direction, no matter how small. Your purpose is waiting, and the path is yours alone to walk. Follow the compass with courage, for it will lead you to everything you were meant to become. The forest may be dark, but the light of your purpose will always guide you home. Lesson 11. The blueprint of success. Imagine standing before an ancient architect, one who has designed the greatest cathedrals, the most impenetrable fortresses, and cities that have stood the test of time. This architect does not guess. They do not rely on whims or fleeting inspiration. Every line they draw, every calculation they make, is based on a precise blueprint, a plan rooted in unchanging principles. And here's the truth. Your life is no different. Success is not an accident. It is built with intention, brick by brick, following a universal design. Most people live as though success is a gamble, as though luck or circumstances will someday hand them the life they desire. They wander without a plan, hoping to stumble upon the path to greatness. But success doesn't work that way. The universe rewards those who understand and apply its principles with precision. It doesn't play favorites, it plays by the rules. Think of success as a science. Like gravity, it is governed by laws that remain constant, whether you believe in them or not. These laws are not hidden. They are woven into the fabric of reality, waiting for you to uncover them. Discipline, persistence, clarity of vision, and deliberate action. These are not abstract concepts. They are the cornerstones of the blueprint. But here's the catch. Most people ignore the blueprint. They build their lives haphazardly, without structure or foresight, and then wonder why their foundations crumble at the first sign of adversity. They chase trends, follow fleeting desires, and let emotions dictate their decisions. And when the storms of life come, as they always do, they are left standing in the ruins of what might have been. To build success, you must first understand the blueprint. This begins with clarity, knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. Vague dreams lead to vague results. You must define your goals with precision, breaking them down into actionable steps. Success is not a single leap. It is a staircase, and every step must be planned and climbed with intention. But a blueprint alone is not enough. You must have the discipline to follow it. Discipline is the mortar that holds the bricks together, the force that ensures your foundation does not crack under pressure. Without it, even the most brilliant plan will fail. And then there is patience. Building something great takes time. The greatest cathedrals were not constructed in days or weeks. They took decades of relentless effort. Success demands the same endurance. Every action you take, no matter how small, is another brick in the structure of your life. And with each brick, your foundation grows stronger. This is the truth of Lesson 11. Success is a science, and your life is the structure you are building. Understand the blueprint, and you can construct anything you desire. Ignore it, and you will be left with rubble. So ask yourself, are you following the blueprint, or are you building aimlessly? Have you defined your goals, or are you chasing shadows? Are you laying each brick with care, or are you cutting corners, hoping for shortcuts that do not exist? Today, take control of your construction. Study the blueprint. Define your goals with clarity. Break them into steps, and commit to the discipline it takes to see them through. Lay each brick with purpose, knowing that the structure you build will one day stand tall, unshakable in the face of any storm. The tools are in your hands, and the blueprint is waiting. Build wisely, for the life you create will either be your greatest masterpiece or your deepest regret. The choice is yours. Lesson 12. The Pillar of Belief. Imagine standing at the base of a towering structure, its pillars reaching into the sky. Each pillar represents an aspect of your life: health, wealth, relationships, purpose. These pillars hold everything you are and everything you aspire to be. But there is one pillar that stands at the center, supporting them all: belief. Without this pillar, the entire structure crumbles, no matter how grand the design. Belief is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation of all action, the spark that ignites every achievement. Without belief, even the strongest ambitions wither, and the boldest plans fall apart. But here's the painful truth. Most people's central pillar is cracked. They allow doubt to seep in like a corrosive acid, weakening their resolve, undermining their efforts, and eroding their potential. Belief is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a force forged in the crucible of conviction and action. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about seeing reality for what it is and choosing to rise above it. Belief is the unshakable knowing that you are capable of more, even when the world around you tells you otherwise. Think of belief as a bridge stretching over a vast canyon. On one side stands the life you know, comfortable but unfulfilled. On the other side lies the life you desire, full of purpose and abundance. The bridge doesn't build itself. It must be constructed step by step, plank by plank. And every plank is a moment of belief. Belief in your vision, belief in your efforts, belief in yourself. But here's the challenge. Belief requires evidence, and evidence requires action. You cannot sit back and wait for belief to grow out of thin air. You must act, even when you feel unsure, even when fear grips you. Every action you take in the face of doubt strengthens your pillar of belief. It tells your mind, yes, I can do this. And with every small victory, that belief becomes harder to shake. Yet belief is fragile if left untended. Negative thoughts are like termites, silently eating away at its core. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts are not harmless. They are the cracks that will topple the pillar if you let them. To protect your belief, you must guard your mind with vigilance. Surround yourself with people, habits, and environments that reinforce your strength. This is the essence of Lesson 12. Belief is the central pillar of success. Without it, nothing stands. With it, you can build anything. So ask yourself, how strong is your pillar of belief? Are there cracks forming, or is it unshakable? Are you reinforcing it daily with action, or are you letting doubt weaken its foundation? Are you building the bridge to your dreams, or are you staring at the canyon, too afraid to take the first step? Today, strengthen your belief. Start small if you must. Take one action that aligns with your vision, even if it scares you. Celebrate one victory, no matter how small. Guard your thoughts as though your life depends on it, because it does. The stronger your belief, the higher your structure will rise. The pillar is yours to build. Fortify it. Protect it. Strengthen it with every thought, every action, every step. For when your belief is unshakable, so too will